Things are all tied up, kind of like when my headset cord gets tangled around my neck during the breaks when I'm trying to move around my stuff here at the desk. But 1-1 now. KT bringing back the fire there. And TY with a special build for a very special day. Let's talk about our players for match 3. Panic used to have a bit crazier hair than this. This is his very first Pro League match ever. This guy's got a ton of GSTL experience. Played on StarTale. Was one of their better players, actually, in some of our last seasons of GSTL that we've ever had. So don't underestimate this guy.
Yeah, definitely don't. I mean, he's got a lot of talent. It's obvious. We've seen it before in the past. And he's on a new team. He could be trying to start fresh here, trying to make a new career for himself here, trying to practice a ton. For all we know, he could be one of the best players in that house. We just haven't gotten to see him yet. This is his first debut here in Pro League, and he can come out and surprise a lot of people, especially because his opponent, Zest, like you were mentioning before, is not on his tip-top game.
Interesting, Zest comes out on Catallena. We're seeing a lot of KT map picks that we don't really see in the past. TY comes out on Merry-Go-Round on a map that he's known for proxying on, doesn't proxy. You see Zest actually picking a map that he's historically not really chosen, Catallena, partly because Catallena wasn't in the map pool before, but not picking one of the maps that we've seen him on most of the time. This guy has an incredible record versus Protoss from last season. We also talked about how confident he normally is in this matchup, but like you said, he's a bit slumping. He's got the downwards purple arrow. There's too many purple arrows on KT Rollster. What's going on?
Yeah, very, very strange. They've got to turn it around here. I believe 2 of them are. Actually, I think it's Zest and Flash, but regardless, Zest looking to switch that around right now, right here, and bring his team into the lead. It's now 1-1 between these two teams.
That it is, Valdez. It's time to find out who's going to take the lead.
Down here in the bottom left, in the red, the Protoss player. It's his first game in Pro League. It's Panic.
And his opponent, same race. It's the Kingslayer. This Protoss versus Protoss. The song ended up being the Pirates of the Caribbean on this map. With the squid in the middle. Or octopus, I should say.
He's looking a bit tense today.
Yeah.
Like a bit angry.
Well, I feel like he's got a lot to prove, right? With his recent record, with that downwards arrow, his team is 1 loss away from falling into last place in our current standings. So,
yeah, it's hard to believe that Zest is actually the guy that would come out time and time and again for KT, and we'd be like, why does this guy keep coming out? He just is not playing so well. Like, why don't they use someone else? KT's got a big lineup, and then he became a Royal Roader and won GSL, and we're like, oh, okay, like we got schooled there.
Well,
and,
not all players blossom at the same speed. He was a bit of a late bloomer. He used the ID cover yourself with blood in the past. Very aggressive player. A player who played since StarCraft 1. I mean, this guy has got a lot of experience, but in StarCraft 2, he suddenly hit his stride, and he hit it hard. And when he all-killed SKT, he got the nickname Kingslayer from his Korean fans, and he's gained other nicknames like the Chisel Toss, because he's very handsome, and he's very consistent. But in recent times, he's definitely been struggling. Now, builder-wise here, so we've got almost exactly identical timings on these gases, and let's just keep an eye on that. We have a faster scout here coming out for Zest. Just wants to know what his opponent's up to, wants to know those gas timings right away. 3 and 3 here for him. And it looks like the same for his opponent.
Going to be a bit sad that he did not get the scout here on Panic just yet. And he's going to come in and see nothing. Turn right around and go down to that bottom right. At least he knows the location of Panic just yet. Yeah. By the time he gets over there, Catallena is a big map, but it's not gigantic. And he should be able to get in the main base regardless and get a decent scout, see that there's not really that much going on in the base.
Well, this map is a map that where, if you scout this early, you're pretty much going to get a scout off no matter what in PvP. And the probe is now going to sneak in here to the main base. And he's going to check the pylon locations, see to the best of his ability what he can find in here. And click on the gas a little bit, get some extra information. Meanwhile, back at home starts at Stargate.
Yeah,
saw no tech whatsoever, so it's a good choice.
Yeah, he's actually back in the base of Panic. I know it's hard to see everything that's going on in this view, but we do see a sentry coming out here. And he's actually going to make a second sentry as well.
And Panic is going to just go for that sentry expand. So first sentry already out, starting to build that energy. And that second sentry, as you mentioned, will be joining in soon. Sentry's, of course, not very good at defending oracles, nor are they good at defending phoenixes. Just not good at shooting up. They can do it, but not very good at it. One of the worst units in the game, in fact, for anti-air.
Probe does get denied here, actually, out of Zest. So that probe that was possibly trying to sneak along and maybe poke it in the base of Zest and get some scouting information, it's not going to get any scouting information here.
This is kind of awkward for Panic right now because he's going Robo for safety. It's going to give him detection, obviously, and he's going to sentries to block DTs, and it's going to give him the ability to shut down Blink Stalkers if that's what's coming with Immortals. But neither of those techs is what he's up against, and look at this. Seeing that Hallucination Scout with his own scout, he turns the Oracle away, and is going to go into the exact location he wants to. He's going to draw these units down the ramp, even making a forward pylon to make it look like he's committing to some sort of blink pressure, and then boom, comes into a completely undefended main base, and even with a Stalker and 2 Oracles, he can just target down another probe, just leave, and come back later.
Yeah, and the thing about this is that he's just poking with this Oracle. I know he knows that he's not going to get that much damage here, but he's actually following up with 3 gates. And what he's hoping to do is possibly lock Panic into the main base here and take out this Nexus while getting his own Nexus at the same time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We made the second Oracle, too. You know what that means? He could actually just come in here and maybe even target down those 2 sentries and then just run into the base and start doing more direct damage. Could also target down the Immortal because it doesn't have that, or the Hardened Shield will not activate by Oracles. So there's just a lot of different things he can do here. And, Panic just needs to, no pun intended, not panic. He just needs to relax here, set up a little bit stronger of a defense, keep getting those Immortals out, and have that proper anti-air to deal with the Oracles.
Tons of units out here for Zest. He's just waiting until that Nexus cannon get down. But again, there's already 4 sentries here. He can easily just double force field this ramp.
Let's see if he does it in time. Look at that. Catches these 2 Zealots. Here come the Oracles. They're going to target those sentries down with a Time Warp to support. And you know what? That was a pretty good trade for just a few of those shields. That was only 1 force field left. He targets down the Immortal. Hardened Shield is gone, and this looks like it may just break him here. There's too much damage. There's also a ton of potential for more Warp-ins. And I think that actually is going to seal the deal here, Valdez.
The Oracle just doing so much work, both of them. Able to take down all of the Stalkers here of Panic. He could possibly try to go for another Immortal here, but everything of Panic has been cleaned up. He has no sentry. GG is called, and that's going to be it. Zest, nice aggressive build there with a double Oracle 3 gate, and he's able to shut down what Panic was trying to go for.
Very, very solid play. Some mind games there as well. Very well hidden. Is drawing those units away from the main base with his first Stalkers, and then doing that follow-up push. Just a tough build to hold for Panic. I mean, he didn't make too many mistakes in that game. It's just that when you go for this type of sentry expand, the Oracle build it's not a blind counter. It's not a direct counter, I guess I should say. But it does have a distinct build order advantage. As long as you can get in there and do damage. And he did not only a little bit of damage, he did critical damage.
Yeah. Loved the focusing down of all the important weak units there. Even the 2 Oracles, like you were saying, able to bypass the Hardened Shields and do a bunch of damage to really focus down the Immortals, which were like the big units at stopping all the Stalkers in the back. But Panic, I feel like his intentions were good. It was a pretty nice build. It was meant to stop, a few certain techs, like you were saying, the Blink Stalkers could have easily shut that down, but Zest, very nice build. Panic, I'd say, this one game isn't really enough to see how he's looking, but he looks pretty, good, pretty mid-level. So I'd love to see him come out here again for MVP.
Never judge a player who has to play with a build or a disadvantage, Just never judge them for that in the one game they end up playing. Well, on the other hand, Zest with a strong build order. Zest loves to, in Pro League specifically, more than individual leagues, create these sort of very technical PvP builds, like we just saw there. He loves doing that. Sometimes it backfires, but today it worked out. Now, Lucira is the last man standing here for MVP, the only one standing in the way